The roast of Kevin Hart didn't go over well with a lot of viewers who thought some comedians like Tony Hinchcliffe went too far with racist jokes, including one about, I'm not even going to say what it was about. But Hart feels differently about this. Take a look.
It's Tony Hinchcliffe.
Yeah.
I don't expect less. I don't expect more.
I feel like you're saying going too far is the point. I don't want to put words in your mouth.
Yes, I mean, that's why you're there.
Did you see the interview that I did with Terrence Floyd, George Floyd's brother?
No.
He said, like, as a fan of you and knowing that you came to the funeral to support his family, even though it's a roast and Tony, that's what he does, they expected you to kind of be the person that would, like, stop it right in the moment or just not allow for certain things to happen.
Like, what is it that you expect me? You want me to take a live production and stand up and fight Tony or have a reaction? Like, Tony told a joke. It's a live production. I'm not compromising the live production for a reaction of what? What do you want me to do? I'm going to drag him off? You want me to fight afterwards? You want me to turn it into, like, what? That's not what I agreed to do.
So Kevin Hart also went on to say that Tony had the best set. Tony had by far the worst set. Cheryl Underwood had the best set, if you did watch this roast. The most offensive thing to me about Tony Hinchcliffe is that he's just not funny. He is a bottom feeder who relies on sexism and racism to make jokes, and they're not even funny. They don't land. Like, to be honest, Shane Gillis dabbles in those things, but they're occasionally at least funny. Like, if you're going to be an incel who tries to do comedy, be funny, and he's not capable of doing that. I loathe him.
What I would say about this, and I've been to many roasts, I was in fact the first female roast master for the Friars Club.
Oh, wow.
So I know about this. Anyway, to me, the joke in the roast is about the person who's in the room. Because, like I did a joke about Barbara Walters, how she slept her way to the top one time. She was there. Now that she's passed away, I would never do that joke.
Right.
That's the whole premise of a roast, is to get a laugh out of the victim.
Correct.
Right.
And you do very often.
You did it to Chris Christie.
They laugh. I did it to Chris Christie. Well, he wasn't laughing that hard.
Yeah.
But they're sitting there taking, and by the way, George Floyd has passed away. They did a joke about Charlie Kirk, who also has passed away.
Yeah.
Both of those jokes, to me, are off limits because they're not there.
So there are some things in a roast that are off limits.
That's about the only one.
Because Kevin Hart...
if the person is in the room, if I'm doing a joke about you and you're there, you're going to laugh.
Right.
Even if you don't laugh, you've heard it. It's not behind your back.
Right.
Which is really, I think that's bad form.
I think one thing where Kevin Hart, I think he just misses the point. That was a host who spoke to George Floyd's family, who was offended by the joke, and Kevin Hart, instead of saying, I understand that, I understand where that comes from, instead of doing that, he stays defending it, and I think that is where he's being really, really tone deaf. I mean, and what you said about what's his name, Tony Hinchcliffe, he's the same guy who called Puerto Rico during the RNC an island of garbage. He is
not funny.
He's
like,
not
there was
funny,
no punchline.
and he's an offensive guy. And I'm actually really disappointed in Kevin Hart because he said, what was I supposed to do? He produced that.
Yeah, but
he could have chosen not even to have that comedian there.
So the thing that jumped out at me about this was that Kevin privately reached out to a friend that was very close friends with George Floyd because clearly, empathetically, he did respond.
Yeah.
But this onus on him to bust out and like Will Smith the moment, it's like, what are you going to do? You're in charge of the roast. So I do think the fact that
why did he invite that comedian?
Well, I'm not saying he has good taste in comedians because those two guys are not my flavor at all. But I'm just saying that as you're producing it, he raises a great point. The onus we put on people to say, like, speak up, yell, say something. It's more important that he's doing something. And the fact that he did reach out privately to me mattered. So
even though he produced it and he's sitting there laughing at the joke?
Well, it's a lot. Having been in live TV for as long as I am, like, what do you do in that moment except Will Smith it?
I don't think you laugh. I think you just sort of...
I'm not a fan of roasts.
I
think they should I don't think they should be televised because
That's
people do not understand how low roasts are supposed to go. And people get offended and people get angry.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of roasts.
Yeah.
An in-house thing is pretty
If it's
fun.
in-house and you're doing it with... But I don't need to see it.
Because everybody's in on the joke, but once
Yes.
it's in television,
The Tom Brady one, in my
Yeah, that
opinion,
was
was
funny.
better.
They're all
Yeah.
awful. I'm sorry, they're all awful.